Let's talk about the Love March movement, Jamaica's own Westboro Baptist Church. If I had to pick one example of homophobia in Jamaica, this Love March movement definitely would be it. On their social media pages, the Love March movement describes itself as a Christian NGO for sexual purity, the protection of the family, and advancement of family-friendly laws. On their YouTube page, they say what started as a march on September 15, 2012 has become a movement dedicated to representing Christ's view on sexual sin, including homosexuality, and standing in love and prayer for our country. Excuse my hands, I'm painting while I'm doing this video. Now, if you're in Jamaica or you follow Jamaica news, you may have seen the Love March movement and coverage of their protests in Jamaica's capital, Kingston. They protest against homosexuality. They protest against the U.S. Embassy's support of Pride Month and flying the LGBTQ flag at the embassy. And recently, the president, Dr. Daniel Thomas, did this video supposedly showing a transgender person in an ad in Halfway Tree and supposedly promoting transgenderism to our children. Take a look.
Right here, check this out. Boom. Right, wait, boom. Look at that. Walk on this, walk on this. You could not tell whether or not that person was really male or female. He looked like a male, looking like a female. This is the promotion of the LGBT agenda in Jamaica. It's happening right here in Halfway Tree, and I understand also in Sam Sharp Square. The promotion of these ideas that they can switch from male to female at the drop of a hat. You can decide what pronouns you want and what gender you want, and this is the kind of agenda that is being pushed in Jamaica right now.
Mind you, this is a medical doctor who is saying all this. This is a medical doctor at a public hospital in Jamaica who is saying this, who has these views against the rights that people should have over their own bodies and over their own sexual choices. Like, it has nothing to do with you. Like, people's lifestyles, personal sexual choices have nothing to do with you whatsoever. And you're out of Halfway Tree and march about people business. Why? Let me tell you some business that you could care about. That is everyone's business. Kingston pastor gets 29 years for impregnating 12-year-old. Portland pastor charged with rape. Pastor sentenced to 23 years for sexually assaulting children. Pastor sentenced to 20 years for raping girl in church. Pastor guilty of double rape. Moravian pastor Rupert Clark sentenced to 8 years in prison on 2 counts of sexual intercourse with person under the age of 16 years. Kingston pastor convicted for raping receptionist/teacher on the job in 2014 was handed a 15-year sentence by the Supreme Court. Clarendon pastor who raped 15-year-old schoolgirl at a church in Maypen recently lost his appeal against his 20-year sentence. These are just a few of the reported cases of sexual assault committed by people of the church, by leaders of the church, by pastors against women and children that we know about. In addition to that, this week we had an 8-year-old girl who died after she was abducted and her throat slashed. Where is your march? If your motto is for sexual purity and protection of the family, where is your march for the protection of the children? Oh wait, I found it. In February this year, Dr. Daniel Thomas, president of the Love March movement, wrote this letter to the editor entitled "Abortion Helps Rapists and Hurt Women." And in it he said, the presence of the father is supremely protective, even if he doesn't do much. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to you? Does that sound like the evangelists in the United States who are very worried about the unborn children but are not worried about the children who are alive? Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like the evangelists in the United States who are so protective of family rights and family values, but have nothing to say when it comes to the values of the leaders of their church, when it comes to sexual violence and sexual impurity in their church, sexual violence against women and children? It sounds very familiar for a group that keeps insisting that North America is pushing its values on the Jamaican people. It seems like you have co-opted some North American values. When it suits them, the Love March movement want to stand with North American evangelists and to promote their agenda in Jamaica. For example, in July 2022, when the Roe versus Wade decision was reversed by the U.S. Supreme Court, the Love March movement wrote this article that was published in the Jamaica Gleaner that said this was a victory for democracy and life. This was not a law that impacted Jamaica at all. Jamaica still has abortion as a crime on the books in our country. And so why was the Love March movement celebrating Roe versus Wade reversal as a victory for democracy and life when this had nothing to do with Jamaica? If Dr. Thomas and the rest of the Love March movement are so interested in sexual purity and protection of family values, they could support that the sexual offender registry be made public. Right now, Jamaica's sexual offender registry is a secret file, and the Jamaican public is not able to check to see if their church is being run by someone who's a sexual predator. They are not able to check and see if the person who they are bringing into their home is a sexual predator. They're not able to check to see if the people who have moved into their community are sexual predators. So if we really want to protect family values and protect sexual purity, wouldn't we want to protect members of our community and our families from sexual predators? So support. Why don't you put also on your agenda to support the opening of the sexual offender registry? But of course, we know that won't happen because, like many evangelists, what this group is interested in is pushing an agenda that only spews Bible verses, and it's not about any real protection of family per se. It is about pushing what they deem to be their rights in front of the rights of other people, disregarding completely any personal rights that other people have and just pushing their own agenda onto other people. The Love March movement is a perfect example that there is no hate as strong as Christian love.